What's up, everybody? It's your host, you're my boy Blue, and of course this is FormulaJuan Week 3. We're racing here in Monaco, on board with the young forward of the Renault. A couple weeks ago, his teammate Jake Ocken took first in a race that I sadly missed. Of course, barring any serious technical issues or anything like that, I will be here the entire race. I'm super excited to be here. I'm super excited to be back in the chair, not driving these cars because I'm really bad at this game. But last week we had Jake Remish win the Belgian Grand Prix. It's awesome to see the only wheel guy in the league get a W. Huge for the beefy Haas guys to go out there and get that W in Monaco. As the only wheel guy in the league in last week's winner, Jake Remish, said, it is a mind-melting race. And you can kind of see why here as we follow young forward in qualifying. It's fast street racing, and it's pretty monotonous. It is it's 39 laps of these guys trying to push these cars down little tiny tight street corners, going around. There's that infamous shot right there of one of the hairpins here in Monaco. Great shot there by the AI. And it's one of those things. It is a famous race. It's incredibly famous. It's the all-time, probably the coolest race, probably the most hyped up races. Supermodels, actors, actresses, and they all come out to watch the Monaco Grand Prix in the actual F1. All we have here today, though, is me, and to everyone watching on Twitch, which, in my eyes, you're all supermodels, actors, and actresses. So I appreciate every single one of you who watch. Oh, right at a qualifying and right into the wall there. That's Bush Latte of the AlphaTauri team, and he's gonna get a restart. Jake Ocken, a couple weeks ago, winner, sets the fastest lap at 1:11. Nice job, Mr. Ocken of the Renault team. Renault looking for a solid performance and hopefully a repeat performance of a couple weeks ago as we go on board with Mr. Jake Ocken. Let's see if I can pull up some telemetry here, some lap data, and some other stuff. UI, spectator menu. We're on board with Jake Ocken of Renault, running on some soft tires. Of course, whatever tires you qualify on are the tires you got to run in the race. And he's going to let someone go by, maybe not. Moving forward, his teammate right behind him. Nope. Ocken's going to go for it. This is always a tricky little chicane here. As far as these cars go, they got to go really, really quick and then brake really, really hard at that little chicane right there, and it's going to cause a couple guys to bend pretty good in this race. I feel these guys are pretty talented. They've raced a lot of races in this corner right here. That's sharp. That's steep. Should be pretty fun to watch these guys. And then right into the pit lane by Jake Ocken. Going to go on board with the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Connor Beaupre. I think he's 21, or at least he wants to be 21 again. No drinking and driving behind this wheel, though, as he takes that hairpin here in Monaco past in Bolchamp. A little bit of a Rubbins Racing deal sort of there right into the rear end of the Williams Polchea car as Connor Beaupre goes at 140 down the tunnel here in Monaco. And we get that nice, beautiful simulated shot of Monaco here as he disregards the chicane entirely and just keeps on going and getting a feel for the track here tonight. These guys have practiced for a little bit earlier today. You saw probably the previous stream. These guys were just kind of going about, a little five-lap race. And we're on board, like I said, with the birthday boy, Connor Beaupre, right into the hairpin there. And looks like he's going to go right into the pit lane. But first he's going to take a look at the wall. We're on board with, let's take a look at the Seaganator maybe. Alfa Romeo. Segan, solid couple races to start the season. Kind of wanted to look a little bit more for Alfa Romeo. They've got some prestigious awards in Formula One. They've got several wins as far as that goes, and they had a Constructors' Cup championship not too terribly long ago. So we're gonna hopefully see a little bit more push by the Alfa Romeo team as we look at Segan and a beefy Haas car go down into that hairpin there here at Monaco. But overall, we got a dry race today. Nothing wet, nothing ridiculous. But this track is just a little bit of a meat grinder as far as the race goes. Still on board here with Segan, and like I said previously, we want a little bit more push at Alfa Romeo as Segan goes hard into the wall there, damaging that front wing as he looks to pass. I believe that's Travis Helling of the McLaren there, and almost getting the wall. That was a good little cut there to avoid the wall there by the Seganator. Captain Chaos here by the Red Bull. Red Bull off to a disappointing start, but they're getting back in there, and they're definitely one of the top guys, and definitely guys that we got to watch. I do have Jake Peterson, the man we're on board with right now. I've got him finishing in the points today in Monaco. It's going to be a little bit of a long shot as he tails Bauer Dangles here in qualifying, but Bauer Dangles currently sitting in 4th. Captain Chaos sitting in 17th as we watch these guys run on some soft tires here for the Red Bull and some mediums for Bauer Dangles in front of him. Racing Point looking to kind of climb back and up into some more, challenging territory for the other drivers and kind of scare those top guys. Now, the big one that we always want to watch out for is Wyatt Schmidt. Wyatt Schmidt, who's actually going into the pit as soon as I go on board with him. Awesome how that works out. Wyatt Schmidt seen here on some soft tires and going back into the garage. Wyatt Schmidt is a fantastic driver in this game, and this is definitely a track that he could kind of propel himself. 2 disappointing weeks for Wyatt Schmidt as far as the lead goes. Out of the still in the lead as far as the Drivers' Cup goes, but he definitely wants to get back up onto that first place podium spot where he's most comfortable and most used to as we go on board with the only wheel guy in the league, Jake Remish, running pretty solid and pretty hot right now, going in at about 140 right there into that little hairpin turn. And the only wheel guy in the league got his first win. Big points for Beefy Haas last week, which was really, really important for the confidence of Jake Remish, which could have been waning in the first couple weeks of FormulaJuan here. But I think that win will definitely help propel him, easy for me to say, right? Help propel him into some unknown territory for Beefy Haas, and that is up in the top 3, as Jake Remish himself said that he's a little disappointed with the first couple weeks of the race, or a couple weeks of the season, I should say. So this will be important for him, and this will be a good race for him to get back to it. Jake Ocken, the fastest man right now at a 111.47. Jake Remish clocking in second right now at a 111.537, and his teammate Franzi all the way down at the bottom. Did not connect in, which sucks, and apparently either didn't connect in or finished his quali. We're on board with Billy Nash, Pulchea. Just kind of scoping out the track as of right now. Nothing too terribly interesting. Jake Getch, the man who amongst his peers is the guy that's going to be winning it. It's a street race, and apparently Jake Getch has practiced this one quite a bit. It's one of his favorite tracks. It is a street track, so it's going to be nice and twisty-turny, kind of like what we saw at Baku. And I think Jake Getch has got a pretty good handle on this track as far as this goes. He's going to be someone that we're going to have to look out for as far as getting the W. Would be huge for Ferrari, him and his teammate Montana Popane and Popane Accessories, for him to get the win here at Monaco. Again, a prestigious race to get a win at. Right into the hairpin there, and right back down underneath one of the bridges here at Monaco, and through the tunnel. Jake Getch goes, clocking in at a 160, 170 out of the tunnel, and he's running with some speed here into the chicane at Monaco, and decides to kind of cut that one a little bit. Back up into the hundreds mark as we go on board with Jake Getch. Just feeling a little parched myself. He trails his teammate Montana Popane and Popane Accessories as we take a look at the 6-minute mark of qualifying here at Monaco. Another team I haven't talked about a whole lot is Racing Point. Disappointing starts, a couple great starts to races, and then just disappointing finishes in those races, especially the one at Bahrain where Bauer Dangles, Tucker Hafner just happened to bin it right into the wall. So we're hoping for some super fast. Oh, and Wyatt Schmidt just set the fastest lap at 1:10.97. That's faster than Jake Hawkins' 1:11, and that's wicked quick by Wyatt Schmidt as Tucker Hafner kind of sends it into the wall a little bit there, coming onto the bridge here at Monaco. Running on some soft tires. We'll see if that keeps him a little racy and a little bit more competitive. But like I was saying, Racing Point had some disappointing starts to the first couple races, so we're going to see if they are able to turn it around. A decent race in Singapore, a decent race in Bahrain without the crash, and let's see if Bauer Dangles' teammate Evan Hockey can maybe take it up a notch and help him out as far as the points go. A little twisty-turny here as Bauer Dangles is kind of zim-zim-zalabimming all over the track. I believe he might have a little bit of a connection issue as far as that goes. Super fast TM, already kind of talked about Alfa Romeo. And then as far as Williams goes, Billy Nash is definitely trying his best to keep the Williams team afloat. His teammate Swift Mermaid has definitely got to, in my personal opinion, definitely got to step up and get some points, as Billy Nash has been racing pretty solid as of yet. We've seen some good solid performances from him out of the first couple weeks of the season here, and a little bit of bumping and grinding with, I believe that's, a big crash there in qualifying as the Alfa Romeo and McLaren come together. And yeah, we'll get a yellow flag for that one. A little bit of communication issues as far as the drivers go. But we're going to go on board with Billy Nash, also known as Polchea 1432, as he takes the tight street corners of Monaco. There's a little bit of debris there that they'll get cleared off as we take a look at Polchea, and Williams really has to kind of start stepping it up, and it can't be a one-man team right now as far as Williams goes. They're really going to have to kind of get both guys on board and into the points a little bit more frequently and with a little bit more consistency, and maybe hunt down a podium spot for the Williams drivers. That would be a huge confidence boost, and you never know here in Monaco. That definitely could be a possibility as we go on board the only wheel guy in the league. And I was actually talking to Jake Remish earlier about his performance last week, congratulated him on his win, and said that we expect big things out of this race. He's the only wheel guy in the league, and this tight street race could prove a little bit difficult for the only guy using the wheel, just because it is such a tight race, and it is very narrow. You don't have a lot of room for error. He was able to kind of spread his wings and break free in Belgium there. So we'll see how this goes, but I'm going to let you guys listen to the cars for the last about 3 minutes of qualifying, and of course, right after this, we get to see. Jake Ocken took back the top spot there. 1:10.616. Wyatt Schmidt still holding in second at 1:10.97. Of course, both gentlemen fighting for some pole positions. And this should be a fun race between those two. Definitely going to keep an eye on Jake Ocken and Wyatt Schmidt as we turn you loose to the finishing part of qualifying. Alrighty, so Jake Ocken sets the fastest time in qualifying as we're on board with Travis Helling. Jake Ocken sets the fastest time in qualifying at 1:10.616. Wyatt Schmidt coming in second. Jake Remish coming in third. Young Bopes, the birthday boy, coming in fourth. Polche and the Williams coming in fifth. Bauer Dangles in sixth. Young Fullard in seventh. And then there's the best of the rest for you. Segan, the Seaganator, coming in at 8th in the Alfa Romeo, and the two Ferraris coming in 9 and 10. Franzi, no Hanzi, coming in at 11th for the beefy Haas. Superfast TM, the other Alfa Romeo, big race for them here today, coming in 12th. Travis Helling, who we're on board with right now, coming in 13th. And then the ND Irish rounding out for Red Bull. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, welcome to FormulaJuan. If you're just tuning in with us, this is going to be week 6, and these guys are ready to race at Monaco. Of course, all of this is brought to you by Penny's Coffee, and I am your host here, my boy Blue. We got about 20 seconds, and in that 20 seconds, I wanted to give a shout-out to everybody who follows this channel, follows us on Twitter. We always appreciate it. And lastly, I wanted to give a shout-out to the 3 new people that followed recently. DP Trey, last week, we really appreciate it. Mantis Driver followed a couple days ago as well. And my buddy Tony in the Great White North up in Ontario, Figure 9. I really appreciate the follows, guys. Means a lot to us. I think these guys are ready to race. I think these guys are ready to go fast. And it's only fast boys here. We only have fast boys. Gotta stay hydrated. Otherwise I'll lose my voice, and then no one likes this stream. Of course, racing in a beautiful Monaco track. And in the words of Jake Remish, the only wheel guy in the league, and I will say this all race long, this is mind melting. But it will be a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that everyone's here to watch it. Of course, I apologize for the last 2 weeks. Week 4, I had to bail, and then week 5, couldn't make it. Lights out, and away we go here in Monaco. And the boys are off. Fast boys only here as Renault takes an early lead through the first corner there. Jake Ocken in the Renault getting hunted down by Wyatt Schmidt, but trying to get some separation. I'm a little rusty, folks. I haven't done this in a little while. Jake Ocken and Wyatt Schmidt coming into the corners here as I get some data up for us here, because that'll be helpful. As we go on board with Wyatt Schmidt, the current leader, there's his pit stop strategy right now. Running on some softs as we start to get a little racy here. Jake Remish coming in third. And a nice little battle here right into the chicane between the Racing Point and the McLaren. A little bit of debris there from a front wing maybe, or just straight up debris. Nice and close here in Monaco. These guys are moving as we're on board with Alfa Romeo, who's got a Ferrari right behind him in Jake Getch. Running on some soft tires, all of them. Segan trying to hunt down the back end of that Renault. Not quite going to make it. Jake Getch pulls away as his teammate is right behind him. Young Fullard taking a look at the rear end of that Racing Point beautiful Pepto-Bismol pink car of Bauer Dangles, who's looking for a bit of a redemption race, currently sitting in 5th. As we go down the streets of Monaco here, and Bauer Dangles trying to ruin the birthday boy's fun as he lags out a little bit as we go into that tight hairpin here in Monaco, and these guys are going to be wicked close as the McLaren fends off the Pepto-Bismol pink car of Bauer Dangles. Jake Remish, the only wheel guy in the league, pulling away, trying to roll with the big boys here with Wyatt Schmidt and Jake Ocken. Great racing by the only wheel guy in the league. You see his pit stop strategy down there in the bottom portion of the screen. Welcome, Trackstar 135. It's always an honor to have my buddy Kyle here watching the race with us. Bauer Dangles still trying to hunt down, but experiencing some connection issues. Let's see if he's able to ruin the birthday boy's 4th place. Not quite. Jake Getch and Montana Popane trying to make it close. Super fast TM in the Alfa Romeo looking for that rear end of that Ferrari of Montana Popane as we get a shot of Franzi, No Hanzi, and MN Hockey in the Racing Point duke it out. MN Hockey still trying to fend off the ND Irish. It's going to be a disappointing race if this is how it goes for the Red Bull team. ND Irish and Captain Chaos sitting in 13th and now 19th as Captain Chaos pits. As we take a look at the beefy Haas of Franzi and MN Hockey running into the chicane there. 4 of them, 5 of them, now 6 of them kind of running through there and making everything nice and tight. I love that corner. I love that view as MN Hockey still trying to get to that beefy Haas. Not quite going to make it out of the tunnel as these guys go about 160, and I've got to slow down a little bit off the track. There is the Alfa Romeo, and the Alfa Romeo gets passed, but not so fast, says the super fast TM. Is a little bumping and wheel grinding there with the Racing Point car, and beefy Haas takes exception to that, trying to really hunt down the rear end of that Alfa Romeo. Ooh, a little bit of bumping and grinding there. Knocks out Franzi as we look at these mid-packs. Young Follard and Bauer Dangles. Or excuse me. Yeah, Young Follard and Bauer Dangles duking it out and trying to get into that 4th spot with Connor Beaupre and the young Bopes McLaren. That beautiful bright orange and blue, and they go into the hairpin here at Monaco, and no room for Bauer Dangles as Connor Beaupre shuts him off. And an attempt to pass there. Bauer Dangles still trying to make things interesting as we go on board with the Seaganator. Excuse me, that is Super Fast TM trying to hunt down not Montana Popane, MN Hockey. Bear with me, guys. I'm still a little rusty as we go on board with Bauer Dangles. Still trying to seek out some revenge in that 4th place spot and maybe bring Racing Point some honor here in that Racing Point car here in Monaco. The top 3, Jake Ocken, as you see him, pulling away from Wyatt Schmidt, currently sitting in 2nd. Jake Remish hunting down the back end of that Mercedes-Benz. Not a normal look for Mercedes, not a normal look for the beefy Haas, but great confidence comes great opportunity for Jake Remish, the only wheel guy in the league, as we take a look at the top 3 there going through the beautiful streets of simulated Monaco. Connor Beaupre and Bauer Dangles making things interesting as they go wheel to wheel through the tight corners here in Monaco, and Connor Beaupre doing a great job of shutting him off, and not a whole lot of room for the Bauer Dangles car there as Bauer Dangles is getting pressed by Young Follard. Nice cut there by Connor Beaupre as we go on board with Tucker Hafner trying to make things close, trying to make things interesting with the McLaren. MN Hockey, the other Racing Point, trying to go into that 9th spot, rounding out the best of the rest here in 10th, and a little bit of late braking into the chicane as he tries to take the same lane that Montana Popane and Popane Accessories does in that Ferrari. And here they go into Sector 2. A little bit of wheel grinding here and a little bit of drift in there by Montana Popane. And the other Alfa Romeo pressing up, the super fast TM Alfa Romeo pressing up on MN Hockey. Let's see if MN Hockey in that Racing Point vehicle will be able to hold him off. It's not looking too terribly good as we see the other beefy Haas, Brian Franz, try to make a move. Can he do it? Can he get it done? Not quite. Alfa Romeo isn't able to give him any sort of room and just keeps cutting him off at every opportunity to pass. This is a lot of fun, and this is why we love Monaco. Franzi trying to take that inside lane. It's nothing's there as they go about 6 down the, not the straight, into the corners here, and there is absolutely no room between these guys as we see Travis Helling rounding out the 14th spot there as these guys go about 6 back-to-back-to-back. Leading the way is going to be Montana Popane and Popane Accessories, hoping his teammate Jake Getch who really likes this track, can maybe bring him some points, because he's currently sitting in 9th, which isn't a whole lot of points. Of course, this is a big race for Ferrari. Always is here at Monaco, as we see Popane fending off the MN Hockey Racing Point cars. There's a little bit of separation now between these guys, but the battle between Superfast TM and Brian Franz could get interesting as these guys just keep sticking together. There's not a whole lot of room between these guys as we look at Segan breaking away. Swift Mermaid retired from the session. That's 1 DNF here, boys. I had 3 coming into the race. And Bauer Dangles drops down into 6th, trying to take on that Renault car made of Young Follard. Shout out to Young Follard for following me on Twitch. I really appreciate it. Young Follard now taking on the Young Bopes. Battle of the Youngins. It's always a thing as we see the Alfa Romeo and the Jake Getch Ferrari round out and head into the tunnel here, as we see in order the McLaren of Connor Beaupre, the Renault of Young Follard, and the Racing Point rounding out 6th of Tucker Hafner, aka Bauer Dangles. These guys go into the Yacht Club Straight is what I'm going to call it. I know that's not what it's actually called, as there's just no room between these guys as we go on board with Bauer Dangles again right into the corners here of Sector 3. And let's see, he's got DRS. Let's see if he can make something happen. Tight race. DRS is going to either make or break a pass here, and nothing for the Bauer Dangles Racing Point cars. He tries to climb his way as we see Jake Getch in the Seganator. Nice pass there by Jake Getch and taking over that Alfa Romeo. Nice work by the man who seems to be having a pretty good handle on Monaco here. We got a yellow flag out. And the Seganator isn't going to take this one lying down. He's going to try to put some pressure on the Ferrari of Jake Getch. Let's see as they go into the hairpin here. And we are in lap 8 of 39. Thank you for tuning in. This is Formula 1 Week 6 here at Monaco. And man, these guys are moving as we see MN Hockey take a pit. Fratlord, the other Mercedes, take a pit, moving to 19th in the final spot here as we go on board with Montana Popane, fending off and successfully fending off some pressure there by the Red Bull of the ND Irish. Disappointing race, like I said, if this maintains the same position for the ND Irish. Running on some medium tires here. Let's see, he's got Travis Helling behind him, putting a little pressure as we see Young Follard and Young Bopes kind of move up here as the Wyatt Schmidt takes a pit and moves down into 8th. We'll see where he releases, and he'll be right with those mid-pack dogs. That is the deadly part of Monaco, is that you can absolutely get stuck in the mid-pack as Franzi moves up to 8th. Franzi taking it upon himself and the Haas team to get him and the beefy Haas team a little bit more points. As Young Follard and Young Bopes and Bauer Dangles get a little rub in his race in here in that tight chicane of Monaco. Connor Beaupre leads them into the tunnel as they go screaming at 150 miles an hour. Blue, who's been the biggest surprise this year? Well, I would say Jake Ocken, but that's only because this is my first year of doing this. I would say the biggest surprise so far has been Jake Remish's win at Spa, but he had a lot of room to move. This is a completely different race here in Monaco, but he's adjusted well, sitting currently in 2nd. DMC McNamara, I love the questions. Please keep them rolling. Ask me as much questions or as little questions as you like as we go on board with Young Bopes, the birthday boy who's taking a pit. And that will allow Bauer Dangles to move into that 3rd spot and that highly coveted in the points, as Polchea looks like he's about to get out of the pits there. A little wall bump by Bauer Dangles and Jake Remish and Jake Ocken. The battle of the Jakes here, as the only wheel guy in the league tries to take on a couple weeks ago winners. Back to the 2 most recent winners of Formula 1 here. A little bit of topsy-turvy there by the only wheel guy in the league, but he regains control. Interesting, a 3-second time penalty for MN Hockey there. And an interesting maneuver there by Jake Remish as he speeds through the tunnel at about 160, breaking all the way down into the chicane as we see him past a ghosted either Wyatt Schmidt or Ferrat Lord. I couldn't tell which one. Let's take a look at Wyatt Schmidt, the current top-rated driver, as he screams into the tunnel at about 170, taking on a Travis Helling. Oh, and a little bit of rubbing and a little bit of bumping as he resets into the chicane there. And I believe that was Infinite Speed of the AlphaTauri that just clipped Wyatt Schmidt, causing him to jump down into 11th. The birthday boy, Connor Beaupre, now in 10th. Infinite Speed going to try to hold off the ever-coming pressure of Connor Beaupre, as Connor Beaupre is going to take a run. And there he goes. There he goes. Oh, and the controller screwed up. I'm so sorry, Beaupre. But nice overtake there to put McLaren into 7th. And he's got his partner, Travis Helling, just a little bit ahead of him, as Young Follard and the ND Irish come up here in the hairpin. Young Follard looking to pass the Red Bull car and put him back down in the 11th spot. Not quite, says the ND Irish, who does have a penalty that will be awarded to him after the race. He's at a plus 11 right now. Travis Helling and Young Beaupre racing each other right now as they come out of the tunnel. Looks like Beaupre is going to overtake that battle. Into the chicane, out of the tunnel, into the yacht straight, as Wyatt Schmidt tries to regain and get past the 2 orange bricks of McLaren's that are resulting in him sticking in 8th. Another disappointing finish if this ends up being the case, as Wyatt Schmidt is going to go a little aggressive and Travis Helling is able to seal the deal on any sort of passing maneuver there by Wyatt Schmidt. Wyatt Schmidt loses a little bit of ground on the McLaren. He's got Infinite Speed pitting behind him. Bauer Dangles moving up into the 9th spot. As we see, looks like Jake Remish taking a pit, coming out of the pits. Ooh, a little bit of a pit lane conundrum there. That could have been a pretty bad accident, as we see the only real guy in the league, Jake Remish, come out at 7th, looking to battle his way back into that 2nd spot where he was. Jake Remish hunting down, and ooh, a little bump in there by Wyatt Schmidt. Wyatt Schmidt's known to get a little bit aggressive, as we've seen on Twitter. If you don't follow us on Twitter already, make sure you do so. FormulaJuan Racing on Twitter. But we take a look at the only wheel guy in the league as we watch Wyatt Schmidt try to take on Travis Helling. But Travis Helling does a fantastic job of taking away any sort of offensive movement there by Wyatt Schmidt. As we see here, Connor Beaupre in the McLaren run into the Red Bull ND Irish, trying to make something happen here and move into the top 3, looking for that podium. Young Fuller and Jake Ocken taking a great look and looking awesome on the 1 and 2 spot. There is Connor Beaupre, takes over the ND Irish Red Bull car. Nice job by the birthday boy. Nothing but a podium will do for him, and the ND Irish back down into 4th place and just outside of a ever-coveted podium for the ND Irish. Travis Helling still holding off Wyatt Schmidt. This is going to get racy. Both running on some medium tires as we go into the corners here of Sector 1. And into one of the tighter corners here is Wyatt Schmidt, a little late on the brakes, but Travis Helling just trying to fend him off right here into the hairpin of Sector 2. There's a little bit of an opening, but nothing there for Wyatt Schmidt, as Wyatt Schmidt leads a bit of a conga line behind him of Jake Remish, the only wheel guy in the league. Looks like Jake Getch also behind him as we go on board with Wyatt Schmidt. Late on the brakes. Oh, couldn't quite do it, and both cars sustaining some damage there as Jake Remish almost takes advantage of Wyatt Schmidt being a little overly aggressive. But I think some front wing damage to Travis Helling. Ooh, right, it bends it right into the wall a little bit. That could affect the car. And we see Wyatt Schmidt get passed there by Jake Remish, the only wheel guy in the league, as he late brakes but doesn't hit the wall. And Wyatt Schmidt's going to pit, get some front wing fixed. And there goes Jake Remish, passing Travis Helling and putting some serious pressure now on the McLaren team. And now he's got his next target, the Red Bull of ND Irish. moving quick, 160 here in Monaco. An absolute animal you are. Travis Helling trying to fend off Jake Getch and make sure his teammate can stay in that third spot. As we take a look, young Fullard in first, Jake Ocken in second, Renault going for a double podium, you think, and the young Beaupre, the birthday boy, sitting in third, and Travis Helling doing a great job defensively of holding back Jake Getch, who could potentially come back and podium or potentially win this race, according to his peers. He is the Everclear winner. Blue, what's your favorite looking car? Who's got the most drip this year? I just saw this DMC McNamara. I love the Ferrari car. I love the bright red as we go on board here with Jake Getch hunting down the tail of Travis Helling. I absolutely love that bright red of the Ferrari, but I gotta say the McLaren orange and blue absolutely takes the cake for me. I'm interested to see what the new liveries or liveries, however you want to pronounce it, for the actual F1 goes. Should be a lot of fun to see the designs that these guys come up with as we go on board with the Alfa Romeo of the Signators, followed by his teammate about 7 seconds behind. These guys, 6, 7, 8, and 9, duking it out, battling through the streets of Monaco as the Alfa Romeo clears a little bit of the gap to the Racing Point car. Racing Point trying to make a move on the McLaren again, nothing there. Bauer Dangles being racy as we go on board, as he's maybe going to try to make a move. Oh, and he lags out into the wall. That's mucho unfortunante for Bauer Dangles as he drops back into ninth, and the Siegnator takes advantage of a poor connection by Bauer Dangles and is now about to put some pressure and put some heat on the McLaren team and Travis Helling as Jake Getch moves into sixth, maintains sixth right through the chicane. Jake Remish trying to see if he can overtake and see potentially, there was a little bit of daylight there given by the Red Bull team, and a great comeback from 7th into 5th here, and Jake Getch has got DRS. Let's see if he takes advantage. He doesn't have much room there, and he's going to lose it as he tries to take advantage of some late braking to hunt down the ND Irish. We'll see if that ND Irish position remains in 4th with the penalties that he has. As we go on board with the birthday boy, who's currently trying to hunt down a maybe higher podium position, as Jake Remish and the ND Irish still duke it out there. And into the 7th and 8th battle is the Siegnator. Takes a look at that McLaren. With the new team replacing Racing Point, it's a cool-looking green car for Aston Martin. That is true. I also love just Aston Martin in general. I think they make cool-looking stuff. We'll see how they do, and I'm always a fan of Sebastian Vettel. And Alfa Romeo getting ever so close to Travis Helling. Oh, and a little bit of wheel-to-wheel action there, and Travis Helling almost running the Siegnator of the Alfa Romeo right into the wall there and right into the chicane. Cutting it close there. Siegnator will see no penalty there. Yellow flag out on the track, but they're good to go. It was a quick yellow flag. And these guys are going to get a little bumpy running on some medium tires each. And a little bit of Tokyo drift there by Travis Helling. And a little bump in there. Oh, right into the wall, and could not take advantage was the Alfa Romeo, but he's going to. As the McLaren ghosted and had to reset as he bended into the wall. Nice racing done by the Siegnator. Let's see if he can hold on to that 7th spot as Jake Getch looks, and there's nobody around him. And Jake Remish, the other Jake, hunting down ND Irish. Let's see if the ND Irish can maybe fend off the only wheel guy in the league. Of course, in a distinct advantage for Jake Remish is that he does have the wheel. And let's see as they go into the tunnel here at about 100 miles an hour. Him. Always a great sound here in these cars going to that tunnel at Monaco as they go right into the chicane, breaking down to 50 miles an hour. Probably the slowest part of the track, and Jake Getch really trying to make up some time. As far as that chicane goes, and Jake Remish and ND Irish. I love this battle. But we're going to go Bauer Dangles just going right into the wall there as he tries to take on Travis Helling. Travis Helling playing a defensive race here. I think as far as this goes, really trying to hold off Bauer Dangles and Montana Propane Accessories. He's got a 3-second time penalty, and he's got some multiple warnings. As we take a look at the aggressive driving of Bauer Dangles, really hunting down the back end of that McLaren. Not much room as far as that goes, and we'll see if Bauer Dangles can do it. He gets it done. Nice job there by Tucker Hafner, a.k.a. Bauer Dangles, as he's got a little bit of a connection issue, but he's making it work. Next is Superfast TM. He's got a ways to go to catch up to Travis Helling in the McLaren. The McLaren trying to split that time makeup and try to take back that 8th spot. Hopefully Travis Helling can take advantage of a disconnect or a potential bin into the wall by Bauer Dangles, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, and no real movement there by those guys. All Franz, no Hans, trying to hunt down the Alfa Romeo as we take a look at the 8, 9, 10, and 11th spot here as Infinite Speed of the AlphaTauri takes over Wyatt Schmidt. Wyatt Schmidt at a disappointing 14th, and Captain Chaos just has a little bit of a run there at Wyatt Schmidt, causing him to have to reset. And they go here and enter the tunnel at about 100 miles an hour. And we look at Infinite Speed. Wyatt Schmidt and Captain Chaos in the tunnel there. And Wyatt Schmidt definitely going to have to come back from some serious adversity right now in this race. He's done it before. Let's see if he can do it again. Hopefully with some luck and maybe a decent pit strategy. He's running on some hard tires right now, which should last him the rest of the race. We're, of course, lap 19 of 39. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Captain Chaos, Jake Peterson with a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, and no movement there by by Wyatt Schmidt on Infinite Speed. Just couldn't seem to get it done, as the Franzi no Hanzi is trying to put some pressure on Mr. Wheat Mullins. Nothing there. Superfast TM really shutting down any sort of opportunity that Franzi would have there in the hairpins. And Superfast TM still trying to hunt down that Travis Helling spot that maybe wronged him and almost put him into the wall. As we go on board with Tucker Hafner, who's got a pretty clean slate ahead of him. Oop, wrong way. Jake Getch trying to move into that big boy club of Jake Remish, the ND Irish, and Young Bopes. Of course, the top two guys have not changed. It's still Jake Ocken and Young Follard taking apart themselves at the podium. As Jake Remish, little late braking there by Jake Getch, trying to maybe put some pressure on Jake Remish here as we see a ghosted Frat Lord. And there's Jake Getch trying to maybe go a little bit outside. Couldn't make a move on the only wheel guy in the league. Let's see if the hairpin does him any good, as Jake Remish, not much room between him and the ND Irish car as they go into the tunnel here in Monaco. And Jake Getch couldn't quite get the release that he wanted there into the tunnel as he gets hunted down by a ghosted Frat Lord. But now into the straight, the yacht straight. Nothing much for Getch, but Jake Remish still trying to make things happen as far as the ND Irish car goes. Let's see if Red Bull maybe faults, makes a mistake here in the corners of Sector 3. Nothing much, not a whole lot to work with. ND Irish and the Red Bull team are going to take a pit, and that's going to result in Jake Remish moving into 4th. He's running on some medium tires, which should last him a good portion of the race, but Jake Getch is running right behind him in that red-hot Ferrari car, and the Sieganator not too terribly far behind him either, as these guys try to duke it out for 4th and 5th. Will it be wheel versus no wheel? We'll see who will come out on top. Stay tuned and find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Siegan, no one around him. These two guys are just going to duke it out the whole race, more than likely. Bauer Dangles moves into 7th. No one around him. ND Irish coming out of the pits there. Oh, my bad. Coming out of the pits at 8th. Not a bad move, as Bauer Dangles struggles with that hairpin there here in Monaco. And ND Irish, if he can make this clean, could put some pressure on the Racing Point car. Not a chance. Franzi, no Hanzi. Running on some hard tires, hopefully going to last him until the end of the race, sitting at 22nd lap of 39. absolute mind melter here in Monaco. Montana Popane and Popane Accessories. He's got the pressure of the race leader right behind him in Wyatt Schmidt, or the Drivers' Cup leader right behind him in Wyatt Schmidt, and Infinite Speed. Not going to be able to run into Wyatt Schmidt to take advantage of any mistakes there. And the Irish just kind of moving along. Jake Getch and Jake Remish got a little bit of separation. Not a whole lot going on there. Jake Ocken running a nice smooth race here. Still running on some medium tires. We'll see how that goes for him as he is looking at the... Oh, and Superfast TM is a DNF. So we got 3 DNFs. That means that Blues Bets wins. I am a absolute oracle at predicting who's going to crash. We go on board with the Frat Lord and Captain Chaos. Getting some hard tires now, which should last him the rest of the race, and a front wing replacement. MN Hockey still trying to stay competitive for Racing Point as Polchea, Billy Nash, who had a decent race, but couldn't quite make anything happen. Had a good early start. Excuse me. Had a good early start, but couldn't really hold on to it. And Travis Helling tried to play a little bit, tried to race a defensive race, and it's not working out for him. But his teammate, Young Bopes, he was able to launch Young Bopes into that 3rd spot by holding off the other guys for as long as possible. Infinite Speed of the AlphaTauri. This would be a big race for them if they could potentially climb back up, maybe into the points in the next 10 or so laps. Wyatt Schmidt looking for a little bit of a better spot here and hopefully into the points. As we go on board as he hunts down Montana Popane and Popane Accessories in that Ferrari. Going to try to clear the gap here, running on some hard tires. I believe Popane is also running on some hard tires, so a pit maneuver or a pit overtake would not be likely here for Wyatt Schmidt. So he's going to have to race Montana here as they go in. Little bit of a wall touch there by the Ferrari. Wyatt Schmidt taking a look. Ooh, a little bit of bumping and rubbing, and another wall bin there for Montana Popane. And Popane's not going to give Schmidt any room except for to the outside. Maybe no yellow flag here in Monaco as these guys go into the tunnel and right down into the very, very steep chicane here by the boats. And Wyatt Schmidt still trying to clear that gap between him and the Ferrari. As we take a look at the ND Irish car and Bauer Dangles. And I had to cough up a lung. I'm so sorry as we take a look at Bauer Dangles through the hairpin here at Monaco, down into the tunnel as he tries to put some pressure on the ND Irish. The ND Irish Red Bull was sitting in 4th not too long ago. Let's see if he can make something happen. He does have some penalties that he's going to have to deal with. Jake Remish sitting in 4th. Also, no penalties there for Jake Remish as we go on board with Jake Getch. No one really around him. Try to find a little bit of a race here. Montana Popane and Wyatt Schmidt definitely got to be the most interesting as they come out of the chicane here right by the boats. And Montana Popane and Wyatt Schmidt just going to kind of ride this one out. And Wyatt Schmidt, saw an opening there. Couldn't quite take it. Wyatt Schmidt right to the outside, and a nice move there by Wyatt Schmidt. And he takes advantage of Popane going a little wide and a little bit of rubbing and bumping there into the wall. And potentially some front wing damage to the both of them. But nice job by Wyatt Schmidt to move into that 10th and final spot into the points. Kudos to him. And great job by Montana Popane for holding Wyatt Schmidt off for as long as he did. And Infinite Speed going to try to gun for that 11th spot held currently by Ferrari. And we see the Indy Irish in 7th. Bopes in 3rd. That's huge. Bopes in 3rd is huge. Happy birthday to Connor Beaupre, turning 21 plus 5, I think. Rocky Blue. I like. Nice name, dude. Nice name. Of course, I'm your host. You're my boy Blue. This is all brought to you by Penny's Coffee. This is week 6 of FormulaJuan Racing in Monaco as we see the Jake Remish, the only wheel guy in the league, take the hairpin. Connor Beaupre, got no one really around him. Young Follard and Jake Ocken running a great race right now for Renault, sitting in 1 and 2. Both sitting on what looks like medium tires, so we'll have to see if those are going to be able to last them to lap 39. And young Beaupre sitting in 3rd with no one really around him. Jake Remish trying to maybe catch up. And this race has turned from racy, guys bumping into each other and everything, to a lot of guys spread out across the track. Oh shit, it's his birthday today. I was just talking to him and didn't say shit. Whoops. Hey man, that's alright. I didn't know either unless Snapchat would have told me. Made a clip of that awesome overtake from Schmidt. That was an awesome overtake for Schmidt. Shout out to Kyle Brown, Trackstar1350 for making that clip. We love to see it. Travis Helling just kind of moseying along. Yellow flag here at Monaco. And Bauer Dangles. Ooh, not Franzi, excuse me. Wyatt Schmidt taking over Franzi. And I missed it. I'm so sorry, Schmitty. As he moves in, going at about 100 through the corners here of Sector 3 and the Franz. Going to try to hopefully reclaim that 9th spot as Wyatt Schmidt takes advantage of a Bauer Dangles pit and moves into 8th. His next target becomes the Indy Irish. Bauer Dangles getting some new tires here and probably a front wing replacement. Montana Popane then moves into 9th. Wyatt Schmidt just kind of trying to run into and maybe put some pressure on that Indy Irish car. Jake Getch in the Ferrari. Again, like I said, his peers had him winning the race. Currently sitting in 5th, which would be a decent finish for Ferrari, and that would be awesome for them here in Monaco. Jake Remish currently sitting in 4th, last week's race winner, and we go on board with the only wheel guy in the league, currently sitting just outside of a podium spot and a little bit further away from pressuring that McLaren of Connor Beaupre. You bet 5 DNFs. We're at 4, so I had 3+. Captain Chaos, Jake Peterson, who I had finished in the points. Sadly, he's going to DNF. I believe that's Jake Peterson. It might be Indy Irish, to be honest. Superfast TM DNF'd, Bush Latte DNF'd, and Swift Mermaid of the Williams DNF'd. Sad to see a guy never finish a race, but should be a lot of fun finishing this one out here at Monaco, and I apologize, my nose is running. Jake Remish still looking to put some pressure on that 3rd place. Jake Remish. I think I said Jake Getch. Jake Getch did get a 3-second time penalty. That's multiple warnings for him, so we'll see where he ends up finishing. Looks like the Sieganator of the Alfa Romeo comes into the boat straight here in Monaco. The Indy Irish still able to hold off a very, very quick Mercedes-Benz and Wyatt Schmidt, and they're pretty far away from each other. Let's try to find a little bit of a race here as we take a look at Montana Popane. And I believe that's Jake Ocken, your current race leader, sitting right behind the Ferrari, going to lap him of Montana Popane. Yep, Jake Ocken right there. So nice race here by Jake Ocken. Really took advantage of some early mistakes. Young Follard taking a 3-second time penalty. Don't forget to vote for Driver of the Day. I don't have a Driver of the Day bet up, so we can do that actually. As we go on board with the birthday boy here in Monaco. And And Jake Remish trying to make things interesting while I set up a bet. Jake Remish going to try to put some pressure on the McLaren. Let's see if anything is going to come forth from the only wheel guy in the lead. And I can't seem to make a vote for driver of the day poll. I'll get it one day. MN Hockey, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Jake Remish, now he's able to put some pressure into the slower portions here of Monaco, right into the hairpin. Young Beaupre running on some medium tires. Remish running on some medium tires, getting a little racy. Lap 30 of 39, 9 laps to go, folks, here in Monaco. And not enough pressure to scare Connor Beaupre in the McLaren. We'll see how they do here at the chicane. And nice racing there by both the beefy Haas and the McLaren, respectively. And not too much action as far as these two go. But it is the closest battle right now. And Jake Remish is not going to take a 4th place finish for an answer as, almost there by Jake Remish. Polchea, 14:32, Billy Nash of the Williams. He's got a 3-second time penalty. That's multiple warnings for you. Shame, shame, Billy Nash. And here we go. Jake Remish trying to hunt down, maybe get a little bit of a draft from that McLaren. Let's see if anything can come from the wheel guy. The only wheel guy, Captain Chaos. Shout out to you. Thanks for being here, buddy. Has left the session. He should probably tune into the stream. As Jake Remish maybe can potentially make a move here in the hairpin. There's a little room, little daylight to the outside, inside there, but nothing's going to come of it as these two hit the tunnel. This is the closest gap as of right now. Young Beaupre taking a look in his rear view, only seeing that beefy Haas. And he's going to have to fend him off, and so far he's done a pretty good job of that. Remish a little bit into the wall. That might hurt his chances a little bit of catching up to the McLaren. Jake Getch running through the boat straight. The Siegnator and the ND Irish taking a look at one of each other in the hairpin there. As ND Irish tries to put some pressure on Alfa Romeo. Jake Getch still trying to hunt down a podium spot, and it would be an incredible run for him to get 2 back-to-back podiums, 1 race win, and another podium, and a podium here at Monaco would be impressive enough, especially for the only wheel guy in the league. Jake Ocken just going for a Sunday drive here on Monday. Frat Lord rounding out the 16th spot. Polchea got some penalty time to make up. MN Hockey running low. Bauer Dangles, disappointing race so far for the Racing Point team as he makes a little bit of contact with Infinite Speed as those two battle for 12th and 13th. But Infinite Speed's going to pull away and take advantage of a little bit of straight driving there through the tunnel. Beefy Haas and Travis Helling. The Beefy Haas of Brian Franz tried to take advantage. Are the cars allowed to switch up their settings, like downforce and such? That I'm not aware of. I don't believe so. Everything's at 50%, so we're on board right now with Franzi running into a little bit of debris on the track. He's running on some soft tires, trying to get a little racy, maybe try to climb up a little bit. He's got DRS. Here's Wyatt Schmidt pits, runs into 9th. Montana Popane takes advantage and moves into 8th. Travis Helling now in 9th, and there we go. The Beefy Haas trying to make a move, going wheel to wheel with the McLaren. Nothing there. Nice defensive moves here by the McLaren, but not quite. Oh, and a little bit of too much rub in there as they go wheel to wheel, and a little bit of disconnect there by Franzi as he tries to take advantage of some loose driving by Travis Helling. Both bump into the wall here at the hairpin, and nothing's going to come of it. Ooh, and a bump there. 2 bumps and front wing damage by the Beefy Haas. And Travis Helling miraculously is able to maintain control of the car going into the tunnel here at Monaco. And into the wall goes Franzi, and that kind of ruins his chances there at a potential overtake as they go into the chicane here. Let's take a look and see if that front wing damage is going to slow down that Beefy Haas. And the gap just got bigger. And the AlphaTauri Infinite Speed now is hunting down the beefy Haas after just a very odd bin right into the wall right at the tunnel. Blue, who do you think is driving the most hung from the Super Bowl festivities? Well, right now I would say Captain Chaos, Superfast TM, Bush Latte, and Swift Mermaid because they DNF'd. But Frat Lord as of right now, and I would say Wyatt Schmidt is probably running the slowest race out of the experienced drivers. We go on board with Infinite Speed here, taking a look to see if he can maybe take advantage of a potential disconnect by Brian Franz. A little bit of wheel touch in there as they go wheel to wheel. Oh, nothing there. Little late braking and nothing. The number 69 Franzi wheel to wheel. Oh, and Wyatt Schmidt gets in on the action here at the hairpin, and that was a bit of a torpedo move to move into 11th and knock down Infinite Speed into 12th. And if that doesn't prove who's the most hungover from the Super Bowl, it is Wyatt Schmidt getting aggressive here, getting racy, and a little too aggressive. We might see some Twitter beef as he pushes Franz into the chicane, but oh, it screws himself up, and he's got to reset here at the chicane. Gets passed by Infinite Speed moving into 11th and Franzi into 10th. These guys are moving quick now here in Monaco as Franzi still trying to make a move on that McLaren of Travis Helling is trying to make a move on Montana Popane. Popane makes a little bit of a gap there as the ND Irish and the Sieganator kind of battle it out for 6th and 7th. Let's see if the ND Irish can maybe make a move at the chicane. Not a chance. Nice defensive move there by the Sieganator of the Alfa Romeo. Jake Remish and Connor Beaupre. What a battle that we've seen here in Monaco, running on some medium tires each. Both experienced grizzled vets. One's the birthday boy, one's the other guy with the wheel. Wheel versus controller. Let's see who's going to pay off. We saw the battle of Jake Getch and Jake Remish, and Jake Getch proved to be the superior of the two Jakes, and the wheel reigns supreme right now. Let's take a look as they go into the chicane here at the boats. ND Irish and the Sieganator swap spots. The ND Irish moves into 6th as the Sieganator moves into 7th there. If you take a look at the leaderboard to our left. And Jake Remish not going to give up on the young Bopes, maybe hoping for a mistake, maybe hoping for something as they're so close to each other. There is not much room between these guys right now. This is a fun race as Franzi and Schmidt and Infinite Speed get into a little bit of a three-way wreck, I should say. And nothing's going to come of it except for Franzi moves into 10th. Helling still in that 9th spot. Jake Remish, you see there, trying to close that gap between him and young Beaupre. These guys, the mid-pack dogs, running quick. I call them mid-pack, but they are now the end of the pack because we had a couple DNFs. Franzi getting bumped by the AlphaTauri. Franzi, oh, and a big crash there as I believe that was Infinite Speed or Wyatt Schmidt kind of bumping in, and a little bit of a disconnect as several guys go into the wall. And yeah, we'll see a yellow flag here right at the hairpin, and I think that was a bump between Franzi and Schmidt. I'm not sure if it was intentional or due to some lag on the Xbox, but Travis Helling currently trying to take on Montana Popane. But this pack right here, that 9 through 12, is going to be interesting to watch and see for the last couple laps here of this race. As we take a look at Jake Getch there, kind of, Franzi DNFing. Xbox disconnect, and I believe we've got 5 DNFs now as Wyatt Schmidt moves into that 11th spot due to the DNF, and Infinite Speed trying to put some pressure on the McLaren as we see these guys just kind of trying to make do here. Let's see, a little bit into the wall there by Infinite Speed. Travis Helling still able to close things off. Not quite. Jake Getch, your 5th place Ferrari right there. And Jake Remish and young Beaupre are still duking it out. They're right out of the hairpin here at Monaco and right into the tunnel as they go in at about 120 miles an hour in the last couple laps of this race. We'll see if this develops into anything as they go into the chicane here right by the yachts. Oh, Jake Remish thought he saw an opening, but Beaupre seals him off. No chance. Jake Remish is going to have to really hope that his wheels got some serious PED, performance-enhancing drugs, or young Beaupre makes a mistake and moves into that third. Ooh, Remish tries to go to the outside. Nothing there. As we go on board with young Beaupre, who's going to take advantage of a little bit of straight driving here, right into another corner of Sector 1. Ooh, Jake Remish coming close to that wall there. Infinite Speed takes advantage of Travis Helling being off and on as far as defensive driving, moves into 9th as we were looking at that battle earlier. But these two battling for 3 and 4. Let's see if the wheel guy can maybe... Ooh, there's a little daylight there on the inside, but nothing is going to happen. And right into the hairpin. And again, Beaupre just shutting things down for Remish. No room for Jake Remish and his wheel. But we'll take a look here as these guys are really close, and some late braking by both as they go into the chicane here at the yachts. Wyatt Schmidt proving he is the most hungover, sitting in 12th right now. We'll see if he can maybe make a comeback in the last couple laps here, but I highly doubt it. We'll hope for a better race next week from Mercedes, as there's some debris there as Beaupre is going to almost seal the deal here for McLaren on his birthday. Oh, Jake Remish has got some DRS. Let's see if he takes advantage. These guys just absolutely back and forth between each other. Young Bobes holding them off, running on some medium tires. Lap 39 of 39. We go on board with Jake Ocken. Haven't had to do a whole lot with Jake Ocken or the young Fuller. They've ran a fantastic race, sitting in 1st and 2nd for Renault. That is huge for them. And young Beaupre and Jake Remish still trying to figure out who's going to be in 3rd and who's going to be in 4th. But an awesome job done here by Jake Remish at Monaco, or excuse me, Jake Ocken at Monaco. God forbid I screw up one of the Jakes. And he's going to definitely let me know on Twitter about that one as he rewatches the stream. But Jake Ocken, as he passes the yachts here in Monaco, is going to take home his 2nd win of the season, and it's going to be Monaco, one of the toughest tracks, as one of the other drivers put it, mind-melting, and he did a fantastic job and persevered and into that first spot, and an awesome job by him to get 2 race wins. And young Follard, his teammate, coming through in 2nd, and we see young Bopes is going to finish 3rd, Jake Remish is going to finish 4th, and across the line comes Jake Getch, and the ND Irish car of Red Bull is going to come across in 6th, and the Siegnator of Alfa Romeo in 7th. Infinite Speed is going to move up a little bit due to penalties. Ooh, let's see. We'll take a look and see how penalties result for these guys as we see Getch in 5th. My bad. I'm not really watching TBH. Bopes just sent me the link, and I have it on in the background while my girl and I watch The Bachelor. Dude, that is A-okay. I appreciate you being here. It was an awesome time. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time. And I hope you had a great time watching The Bachelor. I totally get it. Normally this is on Sunday nights. Of course, last week being the Super Bowl. Yesterday being the Super Bowl. A lot of the guys are big throwball dudes. So we rescheduled for today as Travis Helling finishes in 8th. Infinite Speed finishes in 9th. Popane in 10th. Frat Lord in 15th? Question mark. Good shit, Blue. Hey, DMC McNamara, it's always awesome. As always, we'll see you next week, starting at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. For everyone in my crew, Infinite Speed got Driver of the Day. I would say that it was Jake Remish for duking it out with Connor Beaupre, but that's just me. As always, my cast and crew, which is me, but of course all the drivers for showing up today. Stick around because I will have a post-race interview with all 3 guys. The 2 Renaults, Jake Ocken, young Follard, and the birthday boy, Connor Beaupre, as we take a look here at the podium of Jake Ocken, Connor Beaupre, and the Renault partner here. Nice job done by Renault. Yo, welcome, number 3, and I've got to have the obligatory happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Connor, happy birthday to you. 26, 27, 27. That's a great question. If you could send them invites, because I invited all of them, but I highly doubt that they're going to accept my invite. But of course, post-race presser for you guys. Congratulations on the podium. Dude, he could be one of the anonymous guys. The man, the myth, the legend. Attaboy, attaboy, huge. Yuuge. Hey man, what can I say? What can I say? You can't talk trash to me on Twitter now. I am an oracle. The only reverse the curse is right. The only thing I didn't get right was Peterson finishing in the points. He ended up DNFing. He DNF'd. Yeah. So that's the only one I didn't get right. 3+ DNFs. We had like 5. Can we get the other Schmidt brother in here? Sorry, I know. Don't worry. You'll get your limelight soon enough, Mr. Ocken. You're fine. By the way, who's DMC McNamara? Do you guys know him? Good buddy. Awesome. That's good to know. Danny Mac is he's always awesome in the chat. There he is. It wouldn't be an F1 race without a Schmidt brother on the podium, right? Also, big shout out to the other Schmidt brother for following me on Twitch. I really appreciate it. So we'll start first and foremost. We'll get a couple questions for the Beaupre. Finishing in third. Big podium for McLaren. You had your teammate kind of, I would say that was pretty impressive by him. You're coming. I think you were coming right out of the pits, and you had fresh tires. He didn't. He recognized that you guys were racing each other for a little bit, and then he just ends up playing that defensive role. And you got to give a lot of credit to him for this one. But how does it feel to get back up on the podium here at Monaco, which is not a tough race? Yeah, awesome job here, boys. Next we'll go to the other man, the myth, the legend, in. Oh, hold on. No, I'm still here. All right, talk for me, Akin.
I hear him too.
Oh, fuck.
Are you kidding me?
There we go.
Blue, you can hear everybody?
Yeah.
Get off and
Well,
talk.
so now you can't hear. We couldn't hear Beaupre's interview, but we'll go with the two Renault guys. Sorry, Connor. I muted Connor, but yeah, you couldn't hear Connor. That was my fault. I didn't have the right setting. But first things first. It's not an F1 race. I made this joke. It's not an F1 race unless we got a Schmidt up on the podium. First things first. How does it feel? How does it feel, Schmitty? The other Schmitty.
It feels great. It's our second place of the year. We had some unfortunate mishaps on the team, getting crunched by my brother at Singapore, a couple other little spinouts
Yep.
in the other races, but it feels good to be back on the podium. Another Renault podium with two guys on the podium. It feels great, and I'm really happy for my teammate Jock and 12 here taking home another race win.
Yeah, you guys. You think you can take on Mercedes and in the full on scheme of things, running a dynamic
You
duo
know,
right now.
I train a lot with my brother, and obviously I want to beat him in races. You hate to see the damage that he's taking week in, week out, crunching guys, getting crunched by guys, getting caught in the mid pack. But it looks like Renault takes the lead with 117 points in the constructors, with McLaren at 83 and Mercedes at 81, falling back into third place. So it should be interesting the next couple of weeks.
You had better stats than I did because I don't have any of the stats up. So solid job there by the driver having everything ready at his fingertips. Now I look like a scrub. All right, thank you Foley, and shout out. Thank you for following me on Twitch. I appreciate it. Last but not least, the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Ocken. The man I doubted early in the season, but came back, proved me wrong, and did a fantastic job a couple weeks ago. And here you are winning a second one. Just walk us through the race and how it feels.
Yeah, you know what? Before I get into it, I do want to say thank you to not only my teammate Foley. We ran a great race together. Obviously, we finished 1-2, but our team principal engineer Benny Freemark and everybody back at the factory who give us a chance to compete every week. It was just a matter of time before Foley and I were going 1-2. That's something we've been talking about in the garage quite a bit, and like he mentioned, some mishaps early, but this is our team's expectation, all season, and I think this is just the first that you're going to see from Renault. But as far as the race, got out quick start in quali, grabbed that pole position, and from there I knew Wyatt Schmidt at 2 in that fast Mercedes was going to be right on my tail. Used a little bit of ERS and a lot of that battery and some of that fuel early, but stayed out of trouble. I didn't say it and announce it, but I had a yellow wing. I battled through that and actually fortunately made a pass on Foley there in one of the last few turns. Luckily he went ghost and I was able to capitalize on that. Otherwise I think it would have been the other way around. But all in all, yeah, great race for our team today.
Yeah, you gotta be pretty ecstatic, as Foley pointed out. You guys jump up in the standings, I believe. So
let's go.
You absolutely you probably practice that interview in front of a mirror every Sunday, right?
That's off.
Ready to go.
That's candid. That's candid. I mean, I do a lot of these things. Seems like my name's always in the media with this damn league, and for better or for worse. But yeah, I'm used to it. But thank you, Blue.
Of course, yeah. Thank you, Jake.
Shout out to a couple of Renault sponsors here.
I reversed the curse, as you said, and congratulations to all three of you guys. And
think we might be muted.
Anything else you want to shout out, or
Yeah,
anything
we
else
are.
you want to say for the
Yeah,
Twitch fam?
I think Full, you got some shout-outs?
Yeah, can you buzz me back in here, Blue?
Yeah, you're both back in.
I want to shout out a couple of our really great sponsor partners, mainly Capital One.
Capital
Really
One.
been putting a lot of money in the bank. The boys
Capital
are
One.
maybe gonna ban Robinhood here, but Capital One is funding all of our day trading, and we've seen some big wins, especially in the crypto market. So shout out for those guys. We're on a
Doge.
rocket ship going to the moon,
Moon.
and feels great. Thanks again for having us, Blue.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
For
Blue.
racing, and same time, not same time next week, but close.
Yeah,
to
hey,
same time
Sunday.
Blue.
next week, eh?
Feel free to, before we log off, if you want to swing by the Renault yacht. We got actually a couple of the NFL guys who just won the Super Bowl out on the boat this
Absolutely.
afternoon.
I'm
We're
not
gonna
a-
go
I'm not a
and we'll head
Buccaneers
over to the
fan.
Monte Carlo.
Yeah, I'm not a Buccaneers fan.
And we'll
so
go to the
that's gonna be
casino a
fun.
little later if you're interested. So if not, feel free to.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Hey, Jock, I'll
Invite
see
stop
you on
by.
the blackjack table in 20.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
All right. Sounds
See you,
good.
boys. Good
Thanks,
job.
guys.
All right, of course, that was week 6. Absolute thrill ride here in Monaco. Topsy-turvy. Great job by Renault going 1 and 2, and then a solid job by the birthday boy, Connor Beaupre, in the McLaren, rounding out in the 3rd spot. Great job to all the drivers today. And as per usual, this was all brought to you by Penny's Coffee. I'm your host, you're my boy Blue. If you don't already, please follow us on Twitch. You're watching it right now. Follow us on Twitter to stay up to date for all the Twitter beef or the just nonsense that goes on our Twitter at FormulaJuan Racing. And then, of course, follow myself. I'm Blue Gaming 5 on Twitter, and then You're My Boy Blue here on Twitch. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there, be square. The track gets announced an hour before every race. And, I'll be here. Bringing the energy, casting it. Let's go. Fast boys only.